So this week, if the question was, are we ruled by our hearts or by our head? Man in the crowd goes, I used to be ruled by my heart, but not anymore. Now the head is king. There is a method that I've developed. I weigh and analyze all of my passions and actions with a severe curiosity. The two personalities within me, one lives in the complete sense of the world, while the other reflects and judges me, often without sympathy, always without pity. And so to explore this topic of man has two faces, from the notes of Albert Camus, as well as one's own peregrinations on the subject.
A worried man in a worried mind, no one in front of me and nothing behind.
And the plan is to pick a little snippet from this work of Mikhail Lermontov to use it as an example. No, there is no car chases or a great big climatic ending, but it's interesting, I assure you. I think we might benefit from a little place card on the table. And that is to say, this story, which is no secret, is told through the lens of a male perspective. It's a man's view of life and the world. Perhaps not out of place to mention that when you're dealing with tenderness of feeling, with matters of love, matters of self-esteem, vanity, one might say the understandings are varied, definitions, the expectations, the imaginations, they're all sort of different. And so if it seems one-sided, then you know why. I stand on shaky ground because of the limited scope. For me, there's Daphne du Maurier, Rebecca, Mary Shelley, Frankenstein, Wuthering Heights, Bronte, or the Jane Austen series is the extent of my field of vision. I find this peculiarity when dealing with male authors and romantic stories. The indeterminate presence of this phallic symbol. It shows itself, intended or otherwise, but it's there, like a watermark. And from what I know, this does not exist even in its feminine form or representation. It's a source of a humor element and also a curious observation. All I'm saying is there is a difference, like between coffee and tea, or a pet cat or a pet dog, the different ways they communicate to show their affection to the owner.
I'm well dressed, waiting on the last train.
What? Phallic symbol? Oh, no, I don't know. Really, I don't know. Now, I have come prepared to answer a few questions. For example, if somebody had put up their hand and said, just a minute before you go on, give us an example of this phallic symbol. I'd say it's not that easy to point out. Most times it's embedded, sort of like a watermark. Camouflaged, you mean? Here, let me explain. I came across a good one recently. This is a book titled The Zone of Interest by the late great Sir Martin Amis. The book is a masterful creation, a semi-fictional story. He wrote it in his senior years, and so the craftsmanship, the artistry, near perfection. Let's look at a scene in this novel, and you will agree that it's rather pronounced. It is a bit distasteful, although it doesn't seem out of place in this environment. The storyline. It's set in the pit of human fallenness, devoid of the spirit of humanity. World War II Europe. Terror, horror, mass murder. In this scene, we have the protagonist, Angelo Thompson. He's visiting the home of his boss, the commandant, Mr. Paul Dole. Paul is not home, but this is no surprise because the visit was a pretense to make the acquaintance of Mrs. Dole. He has seen her around, and the first time he saw her, it had the effect as if being struck by a thunderbolt. He feels this great attraction for her. And so they exchange some brief pleasantries, all the while Thompson is relishing the pleasure, the presence of her company. Paul Dole returns and invites him for a drink into the study. And while the commandant is distracted with company matters, Thompson spots a framed picture of Hannah Dole placed above the chimney piece. The cameraman was not the commandant. This was prior to his time. It seems like a high school celebration award ceremony. Hannah is dressed in a sashed evening gown, cradling a bunch of flowers, her arms gloved to the elbow. His impressions are, she seems to be beaming with embarrassment at the extent of her own delight. This must have been 13 or 14 years ago, and she is far better now.
Any minute now, I'm expecting all that'll break loose.
To the reader, there is this feeling of ascension, a climb, and as if to help with the propulsion, this upward movement, we are offered this. They say it's one of the most terrifying manifestations in nature. A bull elephant in a state of must. I want to get back to that word, but we'll continue. Twin streams of vile-smelling fluid pour out from the ducts of its temples into the corner of its jaws. During these times, it's known to gorge through giraffes and hippos and break the backs of cringing rhinoceri. This is male elephantine heat. The word here, must, it sounds like must in the English language. Here we have the closure from the author, because Gola Thompson, continuing on with his fascination with Hannah, he thinks to himself, I just must. Okay, I just want to spend a few moments on this word must, because it's not unfamiliar to me. It's from the language Urdu, which was one of the languages spoken within the vicinity of our neighborhood. Growing up in this high-density polyglot society, this major urban center, Bangalore, India, it's no surprise that catchy-sounding words within the spoken languages would find its way into the English colloquial. I think its literal meaning in Urdu is intoxication, but we used it to describe a shade of ecstasy in a way. For example, how was the game? Oh, it was must. How was that concert you went to recently? Oh, it was must. Or it could be a weekend evening, a few beverages gone down too quick. How you feeling? I'm feeling must. I guess an acknowledgement, a thank you is due to Sir Martin Amis, because I didn't know the true meaning of must till he enlightened us.
Just for a second there I saw something new.
Now this was perhaps an unnecessary digression, but I'm happy. It helps me get comfortable, settle into a launch pad to tell the tale of this romantic date that goes wrong.
People are crazy and times are strange. I'm locked and tied, I'm out of range. I used